medical interventions for January 12 and 13. We'll talk about where we're at in the process. So we have just finished up on Friday and Monday. We're working on this 1.4 study guide, and so between Friday and Monday, you should be getting most of that done. This is going to be due, if you look in Canvas, this is due Wednesday, so you do have a little bit more time to finish up anything you don't have done, but we'll kind of be done working on that. For 3, there's nothing that we're really going to cover except for one little topic that we may write down something in our lab journal on in class. And so from 143, so we will cover one short topic, which is a comparison of the types of studies that are done to understand how vaccination is going to work. So, but other than that, we're done with 1.4, which brings us to the end of Unit 1. And so at the end of Unit 1, we see Sue Smith is doing fine, and thankfully, she can go back to her normal daily life. And so we'll move on to Unit 2 soon. But we are going to be having a test, and as of right now, that test is scheduled for the end of the Martin Luther King week. So it's going to be like the 21st or 22nd at this point of January. So just be ready and understand that that's coming. So where we're going next, and with that test, by the way, there is this Unit 1 study guide, which I have put in here. And it's an overview, and you'll be getting a paper copy of this, and I'll talk about it in class on Tuesday and Wednesday also. So, but that's here, and we'll talk a little bit more about the test and stuff as well. So then Unit 2. So if we go to the curriculum and we look at Unit 2, genetic testing and screening. So Unit 2 is about how to screen what is in your genes, and you look at the overall layout. This is the shortest unit. This unit will take us maybe 4 weeks probably to do. We'll be done. We'll have a Unit 2 test. It's a really short unit, so we'll go through it pretty quickly. So there's genetic testing and screening and our genetic future. And so we'll talk through these things. And so the context, we talked about Sue Smith, so we're going back to the whole Smith family. In this case, we'll talk about this a little bit, but James Smith and his wife will soon be having a new baby. And Aaron Smith and his wife are hoping to become parents. Okay, and so we're going to get into the details of that, and we'll talk about look at the family bulletin here. There's some details that go into this, right? James and Judy Smith, who are the parents of Sue, who's in college, are unexpectedly having a third child. So, and then Aaron, who is James Smith's brother, and his new wife Gina are wanting to have children, and so we're looking at what considerations they need to take into account with a young couple and younger couple and a couple who's a little bit older. What are some of the things that need to look at and considerations they need to take with children, and then how is screening done? How do we identify what is in our genes? So, Activity 211, Chronicles of Genetic Counselors, the first one that we're going to look at. And do make sure you're reading the background information on this. We'll go through some of it in class. But basically, the Human Genome Project, which was completed in 2003, is basically a list of parts for the human body and the instructions for each of those parts. So genetic testing can test the entire genome, and the genome is basically the entire library of all the genes in a human. And genetic testing can help identify sequences and identify if those sequences are normal or abnormal compared to a healthy individual. So, and you have this picture of all the chromosomes called a karyotype. And so we're going to be spending a lot of time with this in class, working on this. So just to kind of get you an intro into this, we're going to be using 211 and 212. There's a study guide you'll go through. So if you go down to Unit 2, 211 and 212, Genetic Counseling and Copying Genes, this is the document that you come up with. So all I really want you to do to get started with this for Wednesday and Thursday, in addition to starting to prepare for that test, I'm sorry, not Wednesday, Thursday, but Tuesday, Wednesday. So the Tuesday, Wednesday information is to read the background information for that and record 3 pieces of information you found to be important. So we're talking about this background information here. All right. So read through this background information, write down some important information, read the family bulletin, which I just kind of went over as well. And then there is a slideshow that's in here for information. And so there's this genetic disorders presentation, and you're going to use that to help fill in this table. So your goal would be when you come to class on Thursday, so this is Tuesday, Wednesday, so when you come to class on Thursday, you would have this first page completed so you understand the 4 different disorder categories. There's genetic disorders that we'll talk about in there. So there's 4 different categories of genetic disorders that are described in this slideshow. And if you look here in 211, genetic disorder slideshow, and you can click through here and you see the 4 types: single gene, multifactorial, chromosomal, and mitochondrial. And we will go over that in class, but that will help you kind of get a start on this and give you some questions to think about. So that's basically it for Tuesday and Wednesday. Your tasks are to get 1.4 done and turned in. Anything that you don't have done on 1.4 with vaccination. And then start 211 and 212 by reading the directions, the background information, read the family bulletin, and then go through the genetic disorder slideshow, and fill out the first page of information on the 211, 212 assignment. So, and then there will be more information coming out about the test into next week. So we'll have a lab activity too that we're going to begin at the end of next week as well. So that is all, and thank you, and I'll see you in class.